People are banging on about the environment these days, especially politicians, whilst at the same time saying consumers need to spend more and consume more to get the economy going again. Maybe they should make their mind up as to which one's most important, because you can't have both. Because most of the environmental damage we do comes from the factories that produce all of the rubbish that we consume. And to make matters worse, most of this junk is deliberately designed to fail, or just fall apart, or become obsolete as soon as the warranty runs out, just so we can go out and buy some more. And why? Because if they don't, the whole system grinds to a halt. No more shit being made, no more wages for people to make shit, and no more shit for people to buy. Surely that's not such a bad thing. I mean, after all, do we really need all of the rubbish that we spend all our time working for and lusting after? Why do we need to bother? I mean, really, does it matter? Why not stop buying this stuff? If we didn't buy it, then we wouldn't need to work so hard to pay for it. We could just work part-time and just buy the things that we actually need. After all, we spend 8 hours of sleep already and life's pretty short. Why spend another 8 hours doing a shitty job that you hate to buy rubbish you don't need? Would life be so bad if you didn't have a new phone every 6 months, or a new telly every year, or any of the other rubbish that we get in debt for? So, is it because we're greedy? Or because we're just stupid and we haven't figured out any of this yet, and that's why we carry on with this nonsense? Well, sometimes it's both of these things, and sometimes it's just because we forget what we really need, because of all the adverts constantly telling us what to buy, trying to convince us that the abstract feeling of emptiness and loneliness that comes with living in a modern insular capitalistic consumer mad world that tries to replace real relationships with Facebook friends can be relieved by buying yet more crap. And worse are the politicians up to their elbows in corporate bullshit, constantly telling us to buy more stuff and referring to us as consumers, which is a term I particularly despise. Because it sounds like, and I believe many in government and business actually believe us to be, just put here just to make stuff for consumers to consume, so we can all get cash to buy more stuff and consume more rubbish. Like a whole world of consuming robots, making the world warmer, rich people richer, and keeping politicians in work and everyone else skint and in debt. Of course, it's natural to want good things in life, and if you're willing to work for them, then why not? But that's different from the almost pathological need to consume that you see today. And even in this time of recession and spiralling debt, people are still queuing up to hand over their cash, or more likely their maxed out credit cards, especially with Christmas getting ever closer every year. This consumerism is a bad habit that we all need to kick, unless our whole nation is to face an economic disaster. And it's not just on a personal level, the nation as a whole has a problem with debt. The government has dragged us all into the red. So we need a change of attitude before we all sink. A lot of people can't understand why I would have a problem with celebs selling out, taking a huge bucket load of cash to sell some junk to us all. And it's not just celebs who are getting on the act. Even nobodies from YouTube are doing it. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that corporations by their very nature are psychotic and will do anything to make profit, no matter what. People appearing on their advertisements are saying to the viewer, it's okay to be like this. It's okay to have nothing to do with your life apart from consume. And if you're not constantly consuming and not following like a plague of rats the corporate Pied Piper as he fucks over the developing world for our own greed, then there's something wrong with you. To quote Bill Hicks, he said, anyone who does adverts, no matter who they are or for what they do, you're a corporate shill. I agree. So let's never forget though, who is the real winners and losers when it comes to cheap goods. The only winners are big business, and the real losers are the poor sods who make the stuff. However, one day the oil will run out, and there'll be no more plastic to make cheap rubbish, and no more fuel to run farm machinery to pick cheap cotton. And the phrase make do and mend will suddenly become back in fashion again. And then the meek will inherit the earth, because there'll be no bloody choice.